Hello there, my lovelies. Thank you so much for choosing me to be your tarot card reader for today. I did your readings already. They were pretty good. I liked them. I hope they made sense. A bit of a scatterbrain. You'll know why once you click in your reading. But yeah, that's all I have to say at this point. If you're one of those individuals that comment, hey, would you kindly select a reading for me? You can't do that because you can't make a comment, and if you did, the answer would be no. I would rather for you to be reliant on yourself to pick your own reading. No shade, no tea, but that's just how I am. So how would I do it? Well, I close my eyes and I say the following: God, source, universe, my spirit guides, my higher self, the truth. Which reading is the right one for me? Open your eyes and your eyes will tell you where to go. It will literally guide you. Now, if you're noticing that you're going back and forth and things in that nature, you may have two messages from two different groups. But thank you so much for listening to this, and I shall see you at your video. Hey friend, this is Auntie Boo, and nice to meet you. So I just want to give you a nice disclaimer. This is a general reading, not a personal one. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, everything is in the description for your review. Also, sometimes my guides want me to share a personal story about myself. This is by no means trying to hijack your reading. It just serves as an important piece of information that you may resonate. But thank you so much for choosing me to be your reader, and we will continue on with the reading. Hello there, group number one. I hope you're doing okay. So I'm letting you know I will be talking a lot slower in my readings from now on because I am a middle-aged woman. I have been diagnosed with perimenopause at 38, and it's been going on for like 2 years. So yes, I gotta take my sweet time. But without further ado, my darling, we're going to talk about who are you becoming, how what would it look like, I think, and how can you get there, and then we'll give you like a grounded message. So we have Virgin, light attribute, maintaining symbolic purity of the heart and spirit. Shadow attribute, fear of intimate union. With the other archetypal deck, I'm not reading the keywords, so I'm just going to read the name and what it says in quotes. The artist, Venus, I create my vision. So you can see the keywords for yourself. Avenger, light attributes, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Shadow attribute, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. The King, Sun, I powerfully lead my mission blessed. Gambler, light attribute, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. Shadow attribute, relying on luck rather than hard work. The Organizer, Saturn, everything is rightfully placed. Has its rightful place, I'm sorry. Everything has its rightful place is what I was trying to say. I need to get my spectacles, so I'm going to get my glasses. Okay, so God, source, universe, the truth. Which card should I look at first? And then I will do what I have to do. Avenger. Okay, so group number one, you dealt with some stuff. You dealt with a lot of people who did you dirty, which everyone has, you know, like that's nothing new with a lot of people. But I feel that you've dealt with individuals who abuse their power, people who wore masks and they're quite performative in public. They act one thing, but behind closed doors, they are another different person. And so you kind of have this drive to fight for justice, is what I'm picking up. Perhaps you are in a field or in a career that's justice oriented. So it could be where you might be a police officer, or it could be something that you're thinking about. So, this is a general reading. Could be police officer, an attorney / lawyer. You could possibly be an ombudsman, therapist, social worker. Teachers fight for justice too. You could be a politician. So it's like, if you're not thinking about being in those career fields, I'm not saying that you should, but you have this thing where life is unfair and you care about fairness. Like, if you're not into politics where you want to be a politician, you may, do volunteer work or go to community organizations or something within your community, for example, and you share your grievance to your local mayor about what is going on, so things can have some form of balance. But overall, you have this energy where things must be balanced in order for things to be right. Perhaps you had individuals that made you feel small. Group number one, where you felt like you had to dim your light. Maybe you felt like you had to wear a mask, but you're like, no, I'm done. Like, you're having, or you will have, a pivotal moment where it's like, you know what, this is not it. Enough is enough. I don't know why I heard Cardi B. She's like, what did she say? Enough is enough. I'm like, what in the fuck? Or something like that. I don't know. But Cardi B is a Libra, by the way. So that's a nice hint. But anyways, it's definitely giving me where you're going to have a moment where it's like, you know what? We're not doing this. So I'm going to look at all the cards and, just start talking, channeling the best of my ability. So, group one, of course, I got to share a personal story. So I had like a spiritual awakening in October 2020. I haven't really paid attention how long I've been in this darkness, or one like to call it an ego death or a dark night of the soul. But I had a moment in the beginning of 2025. It is December 29th, 2025 of this recording. I've dealt with someone who is an absolute piece of garbage for her big age, like 70, 80 plus years old. Long story short, because I advocated for myself about her lack of willingness to help me as a supervisor and practicum too, she and her ilk lied on my name. I have provided proof. I mean, I'm talking about probably 27 pieces of proof, probably more than that, plus an 11-page documentation of my part in chronological order of what happened. And I had to be in remediation, which in my opinion, the remediation was very boobless, very pointless. So I wasted a scholarship in a particular class that I was forced to drop out, which in turn has caused me to delay my graduation. Next semester, spring 2026, would have been where I graduated and receive my dual masters before my school changed its name. But instead, I am expected to graduate in the fall of next year, still 2026, but I should have been graduating with my original cohorts next semester. So this put me somewhat in a villain era of saying, you know what, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. I call it my fuck it era. And ever since that pivotal moment happened, I did everything I could to heal. And I want to say that if this reading was about me, group number one, I am a virgin. And it's like I haven't been a virgin since my late 20s, but not late 20s, early 20s. But I am pure at this point, because even though the event I mentioned still pisses me off, I'm not filled with rage. I was definitely in my rage state. So if I want to talk about baseline, and you may resonate with this, group number one, I will argue that my baseline in terms of already dealing with rage, it was about a 16 before this event happened. But my rage baseline moved from probably 16 to 36. Like, I was upset. And the people who did me dirty, you know, they may get their karma, they may not. I really don't give a fuck, because they're irrelevant. They're pretty much relevant to this story. So I'm only telling you what led me to this point. You are about to be so sovereign once you reach your fuck it era. This is where you will officially put yourself first. You're not here for anyone's garbage. You're not here for anyone who wants to abuse power. You're not playing it small. And I think you're going to do some last bit of healing, which I do have some tarot cards that will talk about that, but I don't want to look at it. But who you are becoming, it's like you are going to stand on your sovereignty, and you're going to make risks. You're going to follow your intuition. I think you will be at a point, group number one, where you are trusting yourself. There is a Instagram page where I don't know if this is real or not, but allegedly they found like these old dating VHS tapes where you're pretty much auditioning to see who would want to date you. But this woman, I love her. She says something that she has an unhealthy allegiance to herself. So I was like, I love that. I was like, something within my body kind of sparkled, especially on my shoulders, where it's like, oh, allegiance to yourself. This is the energy you will be in. It's like you are moving from people pleaser, aka like no shade, no tea towards Librans. You're moving from people pleaser to Aries. Like, I will argue, check out your north node and your south node placement. It will always be in the opposite sign of north south node. But it's like you're stepping out of, oh, I gotta play small and I gotta give people the benefit of the doubt. You're like, no, you have an allegiance to yourself, and you're going to act accordingly. This is the energy of you standing on business. But you have this virgin energy about you. You're still this pure, kind-hearted individual, group number one. But you're going to be healed so much where that rage no longer exists. And I can tell you, when I did my own personal healing journey, group number one, I found out that I was 15 years old for 22 years of my life. And the more I grew, the more I lost people whom were important to me. But would I want to be back cool with them? No, because what's meant for me will never be missed. If they were supposed to be in my life, you know, people wouldn't have did what they did. I wouldn't have felt the need to cut cords with certain people. Like, there's not a single former friend or former lover that I want to reconnect with, because part of me that shrunk myself, that person doesn't exist anymore. That 15-year-old me being rageful and angry and things of that nature, it no longer exists. So my rage is never a 0, but my rage is at a 0.2. Sometimes it'll fluctuate to 0.8, depending on what I'm thinking about at the moment and how I'm allowing myself to be charged. And so when you do this healing, it's like you cleared out this debt that has followed you for such a long time. This is you stepping in. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It's like it's giving me big daddy energy, where it's like everything is supposed to happen. I can create the things that I want. I can take risks by following my intuition. And I can still have a kind heart, but take no prisoners, period. You're not here with it. And let's say group number 1, you have lost your job. You've had people who did you dirty, retaliated when you advocated for yourself. I watched a video from Jasmine's Garden, and she said something that was profound. She says there's no such thing as destiny swapping. And she asked some really good questions, asking people, what is an example of destiny swap? So, of course, people have talked about Diddy. And he was like, what did he swap destinies with? Like Cassie or what? Like, what is the real definition of destiny? It's future. It's like what would happen in the future. No one didn't destine swap. Instead of thinking it in a negative light where, let's say, this person who lied on my character, and the only person who believed me was my school advisor, which is why I'm still in the school. She's the main reason why I'm still in the school. Otherwise, I would have just left. But anyways, it's like I needed, as shitty as it was, I needed to be put out of that situation. Like the lady who did me dirty at her big age, her husband is dying. I'm not wishing for that, but it's like knowing the dynamic of that family system, the husband and wife in that family system. She's toxic and he's toxic by being the enabler. So unfortunately, it's like, I don't know, you kind of already getting your karma, because without your scapegoat of a husband, who is going to help glue this family system? It's going to be tarnished. So it's like, all right, who cares at this point, right? But it's like, if I learned from that lady, she would teach me how to be a conniving therapist. I don't want to be like her. And so you're going to be at a point where it's like, it was a lot better to be on this path. Like you were supposed to be there in this current path, no matter how crappy it is, because you're supposed to be better than the people who try to oppress you. I can even talk about a former friend I've been friends with for over 25 years. And one day she woke up and said she don't want to be my friends and can't tell me directly what I allegedly did and who allegedly helped me. I realized that she's been 12 years old for 27 years. She'll be 40 in July. And it's like, if I didn't heal my inner child, I would become her. And that is so cringe. That lady is a walking, talking bomb. I never had to walk on eggshells, but let's say in a weird world where she wants to reconnect, no, I'm not going to look at you the same. And it's like, I'm not about to walk on eggshells with you because you refuse to heal. So you are becoming way better than the people who try to knock you down. You're going to be in a state of realization that everybody who did those things were nothing but projections. And it's easy to say, don't take it personal. Sometimes you have to take it personal, because in these situations that I'm talking about, group number 1, I would have never did them dirty like that. That's point blank period. I would never did them dirty. But it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. I can't really do anything about it but try to find the lesson of those two beings and then make sure I don't become those individuals. So it's like, you are powerful. You know that you are here for a purpose, whatever that purpose look like. I'm not going to talk about the whole woo-woo, oh my God, you're the chosen one. Everyone is a chosen one. It's like when I hear terrible people who identify themselves as a chosen one, they feel that they can do anything they want good or bad without any repercussions because somehow they're God's ultimate favorite. And it's like, no, that doesn't really work like that. You could be chosen as a cautionary tale. You could be chosen to break your family lineage. You could be chosen to have a freedom arc where you can actually do whatever the hell you want as long as you're not harming yourself and others. Whatever that purpose or this chosen thing is pretty much based on one's personal perspective, based on their own personal journey. And so whatever your journey is, whether you do want to fight for justice, advocate for others, or you could just want to be an artist, you could want to do whatever it is, you are going to be so damn sovereign. Nobody cannot tell you what to do. Group number one, period. You trust you. You trust yourself. You can go to a consultant and you're like, oh, I want to talk to a consultant about getting this possible procedure. You already did the research. You're just going to this consultant and see if this person is on some bullshit. Like, you trust you trust your guides. And it's like you have such a close relationship with yourself and as well as spirit, where it's like, I no longer live in fear. Damn, that's sexy. Okay, like, let me get to your tarot. All right, I was thinking that this part was going to be short, but here it is, almost 20 minutes. But let's get into it. So how can you get to this point? So we have the Ace of Wands, the Three of Wands, the Four of Wands. It's a lot of wand energy. You're quite passionate. Hierophant, Taurus energy. The Tower, Mars, Aries energy. And then we have the Eight of Cups. So how to step into Big Daddy energy? Spirit is requiring you to be patient and allow things to end. So I'm looking at the Tower card. And so if you look at this little robot figurine, I love this thing. I won it in an auction. My friend makes these robot dolls. But that's the Tower. And so my life path group number 1 is 16-7. The Tower is number 16-7 is the Chariot. But if you fall under 16-7, there's like how many karmic debt? Yeah, there's like 4 karmic debt numbers. I think 13, let's see, 13, 14, 16, and 19. 16 is the worst one. Okay, so you've dealt with chaos. You dealt with a lot of sudden change and upheavals. Spirit is saying, you know, keep the faith that these endings need to happen, because you are meant to find lessons prior to those endings so you don't take the past with you. And so you will be given an opportunity. You will be able to celebrate, but Spirit is asking you to be patient. The Three of Wands is definitely indicative of that. So as soon as you make a plan, obviously, like you got your wand and it's like, okay, I got this drive to do something. Let me plan it. Now I have to be patient. I got to wait for that signal to come. So my eyes is now going towards the Hierophant, where you have Kitty Poo with Puppy Poo and Bunny Poo. He's like, I have some guidance to tell you. I have some messages to tell you. I think your spirit guides have been trying to communicate with you. Or, you know, without the woo fluff stuff, group number 1, this could be where you might talk to somebody from a higher institute or somebody within like a higher, higher authority. So a lot of people are not into churches and whatnot, which is fine. Me either. A lot of them are male centered, but you can go to therapy, you know, and talk about what is going on. And so Taurus, I will say the zodiac sign rules the second house of values. You know, this is where you can probably seek what are your personal values, because once you know your values, you know your boundaries, and you hold tight to your personal values based on those boundaries. And so this can be where you are figuring that out, your self-worth. Again, allow these things to die and to move on from it. Spirit is also saying that once you allow these things to die out, you find your personal values and boundaries and things that in that nature, they highly encourage you to go outside more. I'm also hearing with the Four of Wands to take care of your home. I think if you have like a lot of junk in your home, which I do, then get rid of some of those old energies that no longer resonate with you. You know, if you've gained a lot of weight and you're like, oh, one day I was squeezed back in those pants. If that hasn't happened yet, then just let it go. You know, it's okay. I mean, I'm guilty of that too, group number one. But it's like, let it go. If you have gifts from individuals you no longer talk to, you can't stand to use it or look at it, get rid of it. You know, do those things that can help you move forward. This is definitely giving me a time where you are you're going to be in a state of isolation to heal yourself, to find lessons. This, to me, this is very lesson oriented, to figure out like, why am I still holding on to this particular event? What is the lesson? And have that, like, probably write that down on Google Docs or whatever. I've started saying this probably earlier this year whenever I see the Six of Swords, even though it's not here. But the Six of Swords gave me my personal saying of take the lessons, don't let it take you. This is literally the time. You've probably carried a lot of stale energy that no longer resonate. It's just over and done with. You're the one that's just revisiting the past, trying to find whatever closure. That lesson you learn from that situation is the closure. I highly recommend you to stop watching a lot of karma videos, because it's not going to change the fact what this people did. Spirit is not saying what happened to you was your fault. Spirit is not saying that you deserved those things. Spirit is saying, look, it happened for a reason. We're trying to tell you what that reason was, so that you can become who you are meant to become. You are meant to become this killer badass individual, period. Okay, just allow these things to end. Anything else? I mean, like, once you do it, you would definitely feel more stable, and I think you'll feel more celebrated. So what do you need to do to get to this point? Like, what needs to be healing? What needs to be surrendered? So we have surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. Well, of course, because you know, as tarot card readers, we want to make things all pretty. Anyways, we have surrender your ego. Cultivate gratitude, be of service to others, and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. Yeah, I mean, the ego part, or the hurt part of, I'm going to watch a tarot card reading to see, you know, what these people did, and, you know, and if they get their karma. Like, group number one, I went on a whole exodus, like, digital declutter. Like, I got rid of a lot of shit because I don't want it to come with me in 2026. I am in my personal year number 9. 2025 is universal year number 9. That's all about completions. I had over 200 plus videos. Some of them had over 15,000 views, and I deleted them because a lot of the shit was surveillance energy, and I'm just not on that type of time anymore. And I liked the karma videos. They were funny, but they kept getting dark. I kept getting the same messages, and I was like, this is not it. I don't want to be in a stuck energy. And this is no shade, no tea towards other readers who do it. You do what you want to do. Like, I'm still going to subscribe to your channel because I want you to get as many subscribers and stuff as possible. But for me personally, that's not my personal value anymore. So if you do resonate with watching a bunch of karma videos and being mad, or who's talking shit about you, That's what's the tea on your enemies. Fuck these people. They are absolutely irrelevant. That's like part of your ego, you know, spinning the block in the past. All right. Surrender worry. Make a commitment not to lead an anxiety driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart and have faith that spirit is guiding you. This is you trusting yourself, trusting your spirit, guys. You don't need to worry about shit. You can, oh shit, I need to talk about this. All right, so before I say what I'm going to say, let me read this card. Surrender your attachments to results. The formula for success is to do all that you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly a desired outcome can sabotage it. Yes, so it's like you could be someone that watches a lot of pick a card videos. When I've taken a break from watching the videos and whatnot, and I just watch my favorite readers who are absolutely accurate for me, I just watch one video at a time so I can process that message, because I can imagine that it's such a dopamine rush watching multiple pick a card videos where you literally forgot what the fuck you watched like 5 videos ago because you're just so anxious about what's going to happen next. God, source, universe is like, group 1, chill. You know, we're all guilty of that. It's like, chill. If you believe it will come, it will come. Just allow it to come. Stop worrying. Stop, you know, being too attached. Just let it be, period. If it's whatever's meant for you will never be missed. So you have surrender to stubbornness. If you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more yielding. This will help you communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. Like, this is your energy right now where it's like you want to nuck if you buck, right? Like you want to whoop some ass. Like, you're tired of people doing you dirty. And I will say this, group number 1. Yes, I'll be in internship 1 next semester, and I'm excited about it, but I am taking advantage of my break because I only got like 3 weeks off. But anyways, I noticed that when I allowed my true personality to come out and I felt safe enough within my body to do it, I noticed that people treat me a lot differently in a positive light, not negatively where I shrunk myself and people felt the need that they got an attitude. And then sometimes if I don't feel like laughing at someone's jokes because it wasn't funny, I'm not going to laugh at it. I'll just say something, I didn't see how that's funny, and you know, things of that nature. If they were looking for a response, like, people are okay with that. But when you know, I have like I don't know how to describe my personality other than the fact that it's really big. But because I am black in America, part of the reason why I shrunk myself, because it's like, oh no, what do they think, I'm bumquisha? Well, they're gonna think that I'm bumquisha no matter what. You know, people are always gonna have a stereotype about black women, especially. So it's like, it doesn't matter. I can have all the degrees in the world. I can sound like I came from the suburbs because I did grow up in the burbs. It don't matter. People only see one thing. So it's like, fuck y'all rhetoric and fuck you too. I'm finna be who I am, bitch. Like, I'm finna serve cunt. Like, I love gay men so much. They say I'm finna serve cunts, not punts, period. And so it's like, what you see is what you get. You don't like it, bye. Somebody need to hear that. Okay. So the last surrender card, you have surrender to creativity. So definitely be on your artist archetype for sure. And it says, let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue. Am I gonna belch or what? No, all right, false alarm. Anyways, stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. Considering there is a mirror here, you got to understand that you're going to be dealing with insecure see you next Tuesdays, regardless of what gender, what culture, whatever the fuck it is. That's not your responsibility to shrink yourself to make them feel good. Like at this point, be in the energy. Like I don't want to say be confident as Kanye, because Kanye thinks he's confident when he's arrogant. Confidence doesn't have to resort to putting people down. You can be humbled enough to know that there are other individuals that are better than you, but confident enough to not allow it to affect you. So people who want to quote humble you, they're intimidated by your confidence. So my thing is this: be in the energy of, well, you want to get to my level, you need to get 8 badges. I'm talking about Pokemon language. Defeat all 8 gyms and beat the Elite Four and beat the person who is the winner of the Pokemon League. The end. Plus get fucking legendary Pokemon. Like, you're giving me the energy, group number 1, where your standards are high. Because you have been operating where you had no standards at all, or it was very little. So anyways, your last thing. This is from a deck called Live Your Values. And the card that came out is openness. And it says to be open-minded to new experiences, ideas, and options. And I think this is where your creativity will come through. So there's a lot to say here on the back. So I'm going to read it because the font is quite small. But it says, reflect on how openness manifests in your current life, and then consider all the ways that your life restricts openness. Seek out a variety of experiences and get comfortable with the unfamiliar. Be curious and embrace surprise and spontaneity. Remember that openness correlates to greater creativity, a more active imagination, and a greater appreciation for aesthetics and beauty. Evaluate how the relationships in your life support open and honest communication and how they don't. Commit yourself each morning to one extra occurrence of openness, pushing beyond your comfort zone in some way. Notice how far you've come at the end of the week, a month, or a year. So if you're like dealing with depression and you know it happens and you haven't really brushed your teeth, commit to yourself by brushing your teeth with water without toothpaste. That's an example. Just brush your teeth with water. That's it. Spit whatever plaque residue out. See how that feels. And then eventually maybe experiment with flavors of toothpaste. Like, this is giving me someone who might be texture sensitive, which is fine. You know, they have toothpaste without any flavor. So I'm just using that as an example. Like, I don't know, I kind of feel like somebody is depressed here. But yeah, that's an example to kind of push yourself. And then, you know, make note, hey, I brush my teeth without any water and I feel more comfortable brushing my teeth daily now. And, you know, that can manifest to, well, I'm going to clean this one particular thing in my home. So yeah, that's it. Group number 1. I like this reading. This was dope. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in another pick a card video. Best wishes, my darling. Talk to you later. Peace. Hey friend, this is Auntie Boo and nice to meet you. So I just want to give you a nice disclaimer. This is a general reading, not a personal one. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, everything is in the description for your review. Also, sometimes my guides want me to share a personal story about myself. This is by no means trying to hijack your reading. It just serves as an important piece of information that you may resonate. But thank you so much for choosing me to be your reader, and we will continue on with the reading. Hello there, group number 2. I hope you're doing okay. So I'm going to be doing this reading a lot slower because I have perimenopause. So please be patient with me. But we're about to dive into who you are becoming. I decided to use 2 different decks for this particular portion here because to me it made sense. But just to let you know, like, this card, I will not be reading keywords, so I'll put them up there so you can see it yourself. But anywho, let's get into it. Who are you becoming? Group number 2, we have Vampire. Light attributes. Makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Shadow attributes. Depleting others for your psychic survival. Chronic complaining and codependency. Someone might dress as a goth. Additional message. Someone may have dyed their hair. The organizer, Saturn energy. Everything has its rightful place. So you can look at the keywords yourself. Hermit. Light attributes. Seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life. Serves personal creativity. Shadow attributes. Withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others. Refusing to help those in need. The artist, Venus energy. I create my visions. Poet, light attribute, expresses soul insight in symbolic language. Shadow attribute, turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. The Magician, Rahu energy. I am a master manifester. Yes, the hell you are. Okay. Whew. Group number 2. This one I can totally differentiate my energy and your energy. Now, I have been trying to do readings during my break, and a lot of them I thought if I can use like my spy cards to get a different purpose of them other than to tap into one's energy. I was feeling quite depleted. Like, if you don't know, I deleted over 200 plus videos from my channel because they were all fear-based, enemy-based, spying, surveillance energy. I no longer resonate. Like, I definitely deviated from my original mission statement of Beautiful Sadness Tarot. Long story short, because why the hell did I decide to tell you that? I feel that certain things that you used to do are no longer serving a purpose. You could be a tarot reader watching this, considering I talked about this. And so whatever that you think you have to do, but it is draining your energy, it doesn't have to be tarot. It can be career, it can be certain people you hang out with, certain roles, whatever the case. It's not serving you, and you're paying more attention to your body. And so for those who don't know, I'm in school to be a therapist. And so everybody is used to talk therapy, but no one doesn't talk about body therapy. We're not talking about getting a massage or things of that nature, or see a chiropractor. One of the theoretical frameworks that one can use is called somatic therapy. One of my professors loves somatic work to the T. She is just like the biggest nerd of it, and I see why. Because when you're doing talk therapy, it's the top-down approach, but when you're doing somatic therapy of, you know, focusing on your body, being reoriented in your body, that's the bottom up approach. So not top down, with just top there. Gosh, I glitched, my bad, I glitched, Perry glitch. So you don't have to just do talk therapy with bottom, like top down approach. You can do bottom up. You need both. I honestly think that you need both, because we have been conditioned in our society, group number 2, to be constantly distracted, especially in the United States. A lot of people look at my country and be like, God, I'm embarrassed for you. Secondhand embarrassment is like, oh my God, I'm glad that you are sympathetic enough to be like, sheesh, you guys are literally the third world country. And it's like, oh my God, we are. But with that being said, it's like, we have been socially conditioned to be constantly distracted, to constantly be fed with dopamine hits. And so a lot of people are burnt out because of, we feel like we have to fit a particular role. And I'm picking that from you. So perhaps group number 2, maybe you have always been naturally introverted. And you're like, well, I feel like I have to be an extrovert. Who said that you had to be an extrovert? Who is telling you to be an extrovert? Without extrovert wouldn't exist. It just is, period. It's like, people can sit here and try to erase, LGBT community. But it's like, without LGBT, straight people wouldn't exist. It just is. Period. They must coexist. Light and shadow, day and night, left and right, man and woman, life and death, quote, good versus evil. They must coexist. It's like, you need the God and the devil. People want to shun the devil, but it's like, we kind of need the devil. We kind of need the opposite things. I'm not telling you to go be a Satanist, but I'm just using those things as an example. So you are saying, fuck that. I don't want to be what society tells me to be. If I got to be excommunicated because I'm no longer a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon, then these weren't my people. They served a lesson. If I have to be a hermit, I feel comfortable. I don't want to be boxed in and fit whatever standard that doesn't resonate with me. I don't want to have my hair like this. Maybe I want it like that. Maybe you were a natural blonde and you want to dye it black. Maybe you want to be an atheist. Which is kind of weird because you're watching a tarot reading. I will say that, but forgive me for saying weird, but that was just like my first instinct to say. But whatever, maybe you want to watch this for entertainment purposes and you were called to, even though there's some skepticism. It is what it is. It's fine. Maybe you don't want to do the stereotypical 9-to-5 job. Maybe you want to be an artist, or maybe you want to co-create with the universe or something. Your words are powerful. I am picking up an energy. If you were to be pissed off, group number 2, things end up manifesting because you already surrendered. But you're probably like, oh my God, can I please win $1 million? I would like to have $1 million, okay? But, we will be so attached to the outcome where it's like, all right, I had trust that bad things were going to happen because I manifested it and I let it go and without recognizing it. But now that, I want $1 million and I want a good life, I'm so attached to it. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. But you do know that you are a magician. And you know that you can manifest, I don't want to say whatever, but whatever you believe you deserve. As long as you surrender it to God, source, and universe. Hopefully what I'm saying, it makes sense. The vampire card really, as I sound like a terrible Patrick Star. I sound like a terrible Patrick Star. But yeah, like, yeah, I lost my train of thought when I did really goofy ass. Alright, let's continue with your reading. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's like, that you are a manifester. And so you're no longer doing anything that drains you. Now, I did see a video probably this year. It was about burnout. And it was by, I don't know. I know she's Japanese, but I'm not sure if she's a doctor, or what is exactly her title, but she talked about burnout, what it really means. She said that many people experience burnout because they are not being themselves. You know, they're constantly comparing themselves to others, trying to figure out how I can be this person, how I can be that person. It's like in a state of people pleasing. But once you get out of that energy, you know, that burnout sensation seems to lift, where it's like, I don't give a damn about seeking validation. So of course I'm gonna share a personal story, bro. Jesus. Yes, I'm gonna share a personal story. This is what happens when you have perimenopause. Like, your speech starts to slur a little bit, so now I gotta kind of talk a little slower. I'm a big fan of life path numbers, personal year, and I'm a fan of natal charts. And so I want to talk about my life path, or rather personal year. I brought this up in group number 1, but I never told them how to do it because I kind of felt like they knew how, and they can always use Google. But everything starts with 1 and ends with 9 and circles back. I don't really care about if you're, 11-2 or 22-4 or 33-6. Some people say that doesn't exist. I'm one of those people that feel like they don't exist. But, that's to each their own. You can believe whatever the hell you want. But long story short, you can find out your personal year by the month you were born, the day you were born, in the current year, and see how that aligns with you with the universal year, which is the current year. Because I was born on a universal year of 7, the way my birthday, in terms of my life path number, I end up being a life path 16-7. So I'm always aligning with the universal year. So, considering that I'm filming this in December 29th, 2025, this is universal year number 9, and I'm in personal year number 9. I'm feeling the intense energy of the collective. 9s are about completion. I'm getting to the point. What I decided when I've dealt with the first half of 2025, which was absolutely on some bullshit, I decided to do some intense healing because the energy and the people I was attracting, I no longer want them in my life anymore. I don't want to attract these particular beings anymore. And so I started purging a lot. I didn't get into full details in group 1, but I will here. So on New Year's Eve, I am deleting my personal Facebook page. I've only shared with a few people who I want to continue to connect with. If you have an Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I might post nothing but stories, but I am that lurker. I'm going to see how you're doing, and I want to see how you will grow to be this awesome person. I do have another Facebook account, but it's particularly for networking purposes for the field that I'm in. But yes, I deleted my Facebook account because I simply outgrew it, and many people only add me for the numbers, and it's mostly people I went to high school with. A lot of the people, no shade, no tea, I don't really care about what they're up to. I don't care. I go on Facebook mostly to look at groups that I follow or pages that I find entertaining. And so that is mainly its purpose. As I talked about here, I deleted 200 plus videos, some of them that went viral. I deleted them because I'm not in the energy of spying, surveilling, getting triggered. I'm done with that shit. I have deleted 2 of my Facebook business pages. I've cleaned out my Instagram photos and albums or whatever, and people in places, things who I used to be, it's gone. I've looked at an old friend group when we went to New Orleans. And I was like, yeah, that was a fun trip, but I don't have any emotional tie to that. And I was like, I can delete it. I don't care. And doing that, purging that, it felt really good. And I felt the energy shifting. So I think this is what Spirit wants you to do, group number 2. I feel like I've hijacked your reading, and that's so not the purpose. I felt called to share that with you because it might benefit somebody who resonate with group number 2. Let's get into your tarot. But yeah, I'm liking this energy. I'm digging it. Like, you're just done with old identities. You're no longer shrinking yourself. Everything that happened was meant to happen to get to this point. All right. So what do tarot have to say? How will you get there? You have the High Priestess, Moon, Cancer energy. We have the Three of Cups. They're so cute and fat. Page of Pentacles. Nine of Cups. The Moon. Ooh, I like this. I'm gonna right? Jesus, I swear. I stutter a lot when I'm in Perry, and it sucks. As soon as I got my ADHD together, here's some other shit. Anyways, the Moon is Pisces energy, and then, you know, we have the Two of Swords. Big Xena warrior kittens. Oh my god! Alright, sorry. Someone might be a cat lover, because I was not giddy like this in group number 1. It's all good. So how can you get here? Spirit is so urging you to move in silence. Move in silence, move in silence, move in silence. You have 2 cards that talk about intuition and instincts, right? So High Priestess, I look at her in different ways. We know she's here. We know that she exists. She doesn't tell everybody every move. It could be because I talked about social media and what I was doing. You could have been that person, group number 2, where you felt like you had to overshare. You always had to post something. It's just giving me this, I have to compare myself. You know, Tabitha, you know, she went on vacation and she took a picture of a cloud, and no, maybe I need to do that. It's like, it's giving me autism. I'm not going to front. Nothing wrong with that. But the thing about people who have autism, or they're somewhere within the spectrum, is that they feel like they have to wear a mask, but they experience a lot of burnout. It's like, in order to be accepted, this is who I am supposed to be. No, the fuck you're not. Most people don't even like themselves. And so it's like you feel like you have to do those things. And then your body is telling you no. Like every time you do it, you get like a stomach ache, you get a headache, you feel lightheaded, you get all these triggers. And it's like, I don't like this shit. I'm done. I'm good. So you're like, well, this is who I am, and if people don't like them, then like it, then fuck it, which is fine. And so it's like, you don't reveal your every move. You're following what you're supposed to follow. You know, you're allowing fear to go away. You see how this happy lobster, and then you got the puppy, and then you got the wolf howling in the moon. So this one can talk about secrets and things of that nature, what's being hidden. I think you're letting go of the fear of being yourself, because like there are several acronyms of fear. One of them is false evidence appearing real, but it's like you're facing everything and rise, not running. You probably used to run before. You're rising. You're like, I'm gonna face my fear, and I'm about to be so kick-ass. And it's like, check you out, group number 2. Okay, listen. And so it may be a situation where you no longer have this friend group. Like the Three of Cups is about friendship celebration. You probably have like maybe 8 people you consider as friends. You might have just 3 people who you can call yourself as, a friend, like call them as a friend. But these people give you unconditional acceptance. You accept them, they accept you. The minute you remove your mask, you're going to lose folks that no longer resonate, which is fine. It's like, okay, because this will get you out of this stuck energy. You don't have to perform. You can just be. You can literally just be group 2. I feel like you'll take the time to possibly go to school with the Page of Pentacles. It could be where you want to invest in something. It could be on art materials or whatever. But I think you will be so content once you remove the fear. You don't have to be stuck in this energy of feeling discombobulated or confused. You'll be here like fat puss. Fat puss, bro. Alright, puss. Alright, but he is a chunk. He's like, I'm satisfied. I ate good. I got that avocado body. I'm chilling. He's with his 9 of Cups. Like, he's feeling pretty damn good. And it's like, you know what? It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. I will only hang out with a small group of people. I don't need to post a lot of shit. I don't need to compare myself to other people. I don't need to do those things. I can just be myself. Like, you're recognizing most people don't like themselves. Everybody is performing. I tell my therapist, like, I've been an actor for 38 fucking years of my life. I'm done with that role. I'm done acting. Who am I seeking validation for? When I used to post a lot on Facebook, I would get mad at people, instead of giving me a heart, they gave me a thumbs up. And it's like, why am I feeling some type of way? They saw my post and they interacted it. They didn't have to. And again, it's like I said with Facebook, I started not giving a damn. Ooh, sorry, hold on. Do I need to belch? Alright, it passed. My bad. I didn't. Alright. Like I said, I didn't give a fuck about the people who I was friends with on Facebook who I don't want to follow. Like, I saw somebody from my high school on my Instagram account that I set to private, and I kind of booted her out because it's just like, why are you following me? And it's all good. Like, I outgrew them. I don't have any malice, no beef towards anybody. Like, I have no beef towards no one because they've already served a purpose. And that's the energy I'm picking up with you. So we're going to talk about what you need to surrender. So here it says, surrender your desire to control people. Being over controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. I don't have a comment with this card. So it came out for a reason. This is pertaining to somebody. If I were to force it, this is definitely giving me, again, a shift in identity. For sure, because it's like, who are you becoming? A doy, right? But it's like a huge indicator of I don't want to say one extreme to another, but you're definitely doing a complete 180. And so perhaps you pretending to be someone else was your way of controlling people. So, it's manipulation. It happens. People do it whether they recognize it or not. But you don't have to do that anymore. So that's pretty cool. Funny that this says surrender comparison with other people. It says keep your eyes trained on yourself. Focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. Considering that I talked about social media, you may just need to detox from social media. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Surrender to inner peace. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. It's like once you get into this high vibrating magician energy here, I think you will attract better people into your life, which We likes that, okay? We likes that. Here it says surrender to success. You are ready to experience abundance. Don't look back at previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an existence. Well, no. Leap into an exciting new world of possibilities. Now, I like that this card landed on artists and with the 9 of Cups, which is about wishes. You're going to be abundance. No, I don't know what it will look like, how it will look like. You know, when people say abundance, they think like a huge cash flow. It could be abundance of love. It could be abundance of good energy. It could be an abundance of, you know, creative energies. Whatever abundance is, it's going to make you feel so satisfied where you don't have to attach. You're just in that energy. You just are. You are abundant. Ooh, that gave me the chills. Okay. We have surrender the drama. No matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. It's interesting. I didn't really pick up where you might be overcharged, like you would be snippy at people. But if that resonates with you, take it as is. So then the last surrender card, we have surrender to receiving support and love. Allow the love and support of others in, rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. I also feel that you have a lot of loving energy, period. That is something that I definitely picked up. But I'm not going to force anything from that card either. So we're going to talk about your value card. You have moderation. And it says to avoid excess or extremes, to live within reasonable limits. So in the back, it says, think about moderation as a way of taking in the big picture and the long view of your life. Take small steps bit by bit and consider overall balance. Write down your own life reflections. I blanked because I heard my stupid Bluetooth. It says write down your own life reflects. Write down how your own life reflects God, thank you, a rational middle course, and how you can work to improve moderation in your life. Realize that moderation can be learned and gained through experience. I knew that shit was going to happen. You're hearing the video on YouTube. If you don't know, they're talking about Grand Theft Auto. I knew that shit was going to happen. I had a feeling. Anyways, and it says, let go of the idea that things need to be perfect or complete. Jesus Christ, I'm done with your reading. I hate that shit happened. And it's like, Roku, why did you do that? But group 2, thank you so much for being patient. I do apologize what Roku did and disconnect from the Bluetooth. If this resonated, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I very much appreciate you. Until then, I shall see you with another pick a card video. Best wishes, my darling. Talk to you later. Peace. Hey friend, this is Auntie Boo and nice to meet you. So I just want to give you a nice disclaimer. This is a general reading, not a personal one. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, everything is in the description for your review. Also, sometimes my guides want me to share a personal story about myself. This is by no means trying to hijack your reading. It just serves as an important piece of information that you may resonate. But thank you so much for choosing me to be your reader, and we will continue on with the reading. Group number 3, I hope you're doing okay. So please be patient with me. I have perimenopause, so I have to talk a little bit slow. Otherwise, I am going to glitch and slur my speech. But we're about to tap into who you are becoming. So, My body always likes to do stuff. Okay, it passed. Anyways, let's get into it. Father archetype, light attributes, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit, shadow attributes, dictatorial control, abuse of authority. Maybe you are destined to become a parent if you haven't already. This card, I'm not going to read the keywords, but I am going to show them to you. But we have the Mystic K2 energy. I am spiritually wealthy. Fool, light attributes, fearlessly revealing emotions, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. Shadow attributes, using humor to wound rather than to liberate, denial of your emotional truth. Engineer, Mars energy, every problem has a solution. Seeker, light attribute, thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. Shadow attribute, inability to commit to a path once found. The Muse, Venus energy, I inspire and I am inspired. I think you have a lot of creativity coming through in all of these cards from this particular deck. All right, so who are you becoming? Well, obviously, like, everybody is dropping the facade that they may have been conditioned to be or not. But you're becoming hella mature. I think for some of you, you may have like a terrible relationship with a parental figure. They may not be alive for some. But it's like you dealt with individuals who have abused their power. Where you have been second guessed. People have pretty much tried to gaslight you into thinking you weren't smart. And so it puts you in this quest to try to find answers within yourself. You have all the answers. Like, you're giving me the kind of energy where you would probably, I don't want to say pester, because part of me wanted to say that, but I stopped myself because I'm like, that's mean. You're probably one of those people who search for answers through other people's wisdoms and their journey. But you still felt lost, and it's because you were conditioned to just be stuck, is what I'm getting. You're incredibly smart. You are someone who knows, you know things, and some things you don't know, and that's fine. You know, one of the things that get on my nerves, group number 3, is that there's this sense of arrogance. Maybe this is American culture, but there's a sense of arrogance where a lot of people talk a lot of shit, but they don't know a lot of shit. I mean, a lot of research has shown that many people are not as smart as they think they are. A lot of it is just BSing. And it's because at one point, now this is my opinion, it's because at one point they were shamed to feel dumb. So now they pretty much have to blend in where they fit in so they don't experience that same shame. So it's like, people would be like, well, common sense, da-da-da. Is it really common if most people don't know it? So we can't really say it's common sense. You know, probably reframe that language and stop trying to use certain words to demean other people, because at one point you didn't know anything. And then there are individuals who act like they know, they don't know. It's like one of the things that even I had to check myself in my 20s, because I am close to my 40s. When people do math problems, you know, people select the answer wrong. They're like, how the hell did you get letter C? It's not C. But that ended up being the wrong answer. Like, it could have been A, but everybody picked B and C, right? But it's like everyone has this sense of arrogance, like they know shit when they don't. It's okay not knowing. It's okay not knowing all the answers. That doesn't mean that you're dumb. You just didn't know. And so you're going to recognize, hey, you know what? I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to, you know, do my own research. I'm going to be the parent I always needed when I was a kid. This is giving me where maybe one of your parents have called you derogatory names pertaining to your intelligence. So it could be where they called you retard, right? They called you that. Maybe you have some kind of neurodivergence, and it was misunderstood at the time, but you were being made fun of it. Well, you're going to become a better version of that parent, if not just super awesome, whether you have kids or not. And you're going to learn how to parent yourself. And I think you don't have to hide behind a mask either. I like this Fool card because you see him with tears in his eyes. It's sad. It's like, I got to put on a happy face, but deep down I want to strangle a bitch. And you know, it's like, that's fair. I mean, we all has like a little bit of rage, as long as you don't, you know, act on your id. I don't know, maybe someone's a fan of Sigmund Freud, you know, like id, ego, super ego, but your id is pretty much like, I don't want to say primordial. It's like primitive part where you just act on instincts, right? But it's like you can control that with your super ego, but it's like you're kind of in your ego, if that makes sense. Look it up, because it's like, I'm not even going to try to act like I know all the answers, honey. I don't. But anyways, this is giving me really masculine energy. Like, you don't have to be a man to step into your masculinity, but it's definitely giving that. But you will feel more comfortable with your shadow. You know, you're integrating that. It's like, look, I don't think I'll ever forgive my parent for doing what they did, but they inspired me to never be like them. And so that's the lesson, like, kind of break, you know, they say generational curses. And it's like, is it really a curse, or is this just a long-term tradition that should have died a long time ago? What else? Your problems will be solved as soon as you trust yourself, as soon as you give yourself to spirit. And I'm not saying to like be willfully ignorant and just walk around like an NPC and allow somebody to control your sim or something like that, you know. But it's more like you have a lot of faith where you know you're not alone. You have your guides if you know who they are. You just go with the flow with life. You'll be out just seeking more knowledge and seeking more wisdom within yourself and within others, but you don't feel lost. It's like you're willingly becoming the Fool. So the reason why the Fool in tarot, this is the archetype, you know, deck, but the Fool in tarot is in 0 because this is like the very beginning. You're on a fool's journey. If you look at all 78 cards, it tells a story. You use symbolism, numerology, astrology, whatever resonate with you, or whatever meaning of the card that resonate with you in order to get a particular message and see where you need to go. And so here it's like, Do I want to be the hero or do I want to be the fool? You are choosing to be the fool. It's like, as soon as you heal parts of yourself that felt stuck, that felt like you were stupid and things in that nature, you will feel more inspired to enjoy life, where you don't want to stay in one place. You want to go out and travel and live your life and just be happy. And it's like, I can be happy. Yes, the freak, you can. You are very much allowed to be happy. You know, however you look at heaven and hell, people say that earth is hell. I believe so. I believe it's hell because we as humans, we're messy creatures. You know, look at the destruction we've caused just for being human. Animals don't even cost that much, but here we are, right? Like, we're literally the, I don't want to say apex predator. I want to say that we're top of the food chain. Like, we have destroyed animals where okay, so somebody's brain's a little scattered, because it's like, why is mine? But we'll get into what I'm about to say. I saw a video that made me so sad. It was some kind of Hawaiian bird, and it was the only male. It was literally the only bird left, the only male, and it had a mating song they were trying to sing. And they've been singing this mating song for years to wait for another bird to sing it back. She couldn't because she's dead. And then sometime, I want to say in 1980s, somewhere within 1980s, that bird died. That species of bird no longer exists because we as people destroyed it. That's not fair. And so, why did I say that? Because there goes my damn Perry brain and my short attention span. Why did I say all of that? Well, you recognize that humans are flawed. And you recognize that time spent is time spent. However you utilize your time, it's already been spent. You're probably spent. Okay. It's already been spent. And so you are saying, you know what? I'm going to live in the freedom. I am going to go out and travel more. I'm going to interact with people, and you know, we're meant to be together. You know, universe will find a way to make this together. To me, this is also giving me a longing that you feel like you have like a soulmate, or you feel like you have that person who would just get who you are, but you weren't able to find that individual. It's like I'm circling back on this black and yellow bird making that mating call, and no one could respond back to him. And it's like, oh, stop. You know, when I saw that clip, I started crying a little bit, and I was like, really? Stop. Like, that is terrible. And it's so terrible. And it's like, poor baby. And you don't want to die like that. You don't want to die with a broken heart. Maybe you feel like you are like an alien among humans. And that's fair. I mean, a lot of people feel that way. But I think that you're just going to be in a state of acceptance where it's just like, you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. And so, I think you'll just be inspired by life. I feel like you would be more present in this particular person you're becoming. You'll be more present. You know, you could be in a position of authority in the future, but you're not the kind of person who's going to abuse that authority. It's there to serve a purpose of helping others. And if it's not others, it's definitely a purpose to help you. Be better than your father. Be better than your mom. Be better than people who we are supposed to look up to, but they keep showing us how much of a monster they are. Just be better. When you know better, you do better. Period. What an interesting channeled message. All right, let's get to your tarot. So what would it look like? We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Knight of Cups. So Nine of Cups and Knight of Cups. We have the Four of Cups. You're going to get out of this energy. We have the Ace of Cups. A lot of cup cards. We have the Page of Cups. You saw me shuffle. Like, you saw how, you know, I shuffled when you listened to the introduction of this reading. You got the Emperor, Aries energy. So this is you standing in your own authority. I think you are just rejection. You are rejecting. There you go. Like, say that with my whole chest. Rejecting. You are rejecting bullshit. I love that. You're currently in a space of not really wanting to meet someone, because I keep staring at this Four of Cups and it's like I'm in Lonely Island, and this is no shade, no tea, but it's like when you think of an island, for me at least I do, when you think of an island that kind of looks like this, where it's literally like one palm tree, a circle, and it's just you, I'm like, all right, this is a Lonely Island. Maybe you like that band. That was a thing back in the day. But it's like, I would rather do my work. Everyone go fuck off. I'm not interested in talking to people, hanging out with people. I don't want that offer. But eventually you're going to accept an offer to do something. And it could be where you're giving yourself permission to live in love. This is you standing in your own authority with the Emperor, where it's like, I think I have a grasp of who I am. I'm going to step into my sovereign energy. Nobody can not tell me shit. Nobody can tell me shit. And it's like, I guess I need to say that. But it's like, I like it. You know, I like it. Like, you are putting yourself first. Like, there's nothing wrong with being selfish. You could have been the opposite of Aries, which is Libra. People pleasing, putting yourself before others, and, you know, have some form of resentment because you're not receiving equal reciprocity. But I think that you would feel so content. Nine of Cups can talk about wishes, but I feel more of a content energy, where it's like, I am everything I always wanted and needed because you did the healing work. You would just travel with life, and I think you find life as its personal muse. Like, you did have the muse card here. It's like you see the beauty in everything. You see the, oh dear, I know someone who took a picture of a raccoon that was already ran over, and things were exposed. And he put it on Facebook, and he didn't understand why people were pissed off about it. It's like, a lot of people love animals, and you got to give people a warning before you post those pictures, because I was upset to a point where I unfollowed you on Facebook for 30 days. Like, you can snooze somebody for 30 days, where it's like, I don't want to see what the hell you're talking about. But you find beauty in that suffering of that raccoon, for example. Not to that extreme, but it's like, you get that this is just part of life. There's really no meaning behind it. You just accept. It's just giving me a state of acceptance. When you die, you die. It was nothing you can do about it. You know, the raccoon probably didn't see the car coming, and some asshole, most likely a man, ran over the raccoon and killed it because it was in the road. People are sick like that, and it's like, you know, that's how people are. It's just giving me a nonchalant energy that you're going to be in, where it's like, I can't do nothing about that. You know, unfortunately, it happened. It happened. There's nothing I can do. You know, I pray that the raccoon, it was quick and didn't feel anything. And you see the beauty of that tragic event, because it helps ground you to be more thankful that you get a chance to open your eyes today and leave your home, and you got a chance to come back home. Many people left their homes and didn't come back home. For example, it is currently December 29th, 2025. A 16-year-old today went to Raising Cane's. I don't know who the fuck eats that, but it's still in business. But they go to Raising Cane's to get that bland, crunchy chicken. Unfortunately, that kid was killed by a 14-year-old. That 16-year-old was expecting to come home after getting some food from Raising Cane's. No shade, no tea for anybody who like it. I just don't understand the hype. It looks good, but it don't taste good. I'm sorry. I don't understand the hype of Chick-fil-A. And it's like, all right, whatever. I mean, you like it, cool. And as long as you like it and it's cool, then I'm okay with it, you know. But anyways, like I said, the 16-year-old, the goal was to come home and eat that chicken, and then possibly celebrate New Year's. And then it's like, oh great, now I got to go back to school within the next week. And that was the expectation. That did not happen. 2 lives were gone. That 16-year-old, that 14-year-old. That 14-year-old won't be able to go home either. He killed somebody. And so it's like, you see that, and it's not like you're celebrating the death of that, but it's more like, I can see the beauty of that event because I'm still alive. This is giving me just, you're so grateful. And you're also giving me like this Bob Ross feeling. Big shout out to Bob Ross. Big shout out to Mr. Rogers. Big shout out to LeVar Burton. Like, these guys are goats. Big shout out to Steve Irwin. They were really kind men. LeVar Burton is still alive, bless. But very kind beings, right? But it's giving me Bob Ross, where you want to grab your art tools and you want to get your sketchbook, and whatever you see you want to draw or you want to take a picture, and you just want to sit with it. And it's like you're not making meaning behind it, because I think you've been trying to find meaning with a lot of things to a point that you were lost. It's like you're just looking at it and just have an appreciation of beauty. One can say that you would be in this Delulu energy, and I'm not even going to say that, but what do they say? The Delulu is the Salulu. I think Gen Z said that. You guys are funny, Gen Zs. If any Gen Z watch me, you guys are hilarious in a good way, not in a facetious way. But it's like you're kind of drunk off of love, of loving life, of appreciating life, and no one can ever take you down off your pedestal. It's like, I don't need this shit. I don't want to be miserable like everyone else. And it's not like you think that you're better than anyone. I don't pick that up at all. It's like you feel like you no longer need to be validated. You no longer need to beg for people to love you or to accept you. You accept you, and somehow that frees you from your darkness. That is one hell of a channeled message, man. This is pretty fucking chill. Alright, so we got more cards for you. So how can you get here? What do you need to surrender? You have surrender low self-esteem. You deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. I love that. And you're going to do that. for sure. Surrender fear. Let go of the fearful stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment, focus on solutions, and celebrate every baby steps. This is you like facing everything and rise. That is your acronym of fear. Facing everything and rise, for sure. Blessed. Surrender stress. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tensions you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center. This is you living the life of a free bird. Like, you get to do whatever you want. Like, if you're the kind of bird that has wings and you can fly, you're going to take flight. Surrender to spirit. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. Yes. I like. Surrender the idea you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. I agree. If you are not in a relationship, this was probably the dynamic. It's giving me the energy where you may have confused passion with chaos. I have too. Like, it seems so exciting. You know, you often hear like men say shit like, oh man, you know, get with a crazy girl because man, the sex is so good. And it's like, yeah, but you do know you have to deal with that individual who is quote crazy outside of sex. Like, you're just in this relationship because of that and that alone. Are you willing to, you know, tolerate her erratic behavior? No. Sidebar, I do look at certain men or give them the side eye. Like, if I haven't met their girlfriend, then I'm going to assume that he's the one that caused her to be crazy. It's like every time I meet a guy that says, oh, I date some girl who is crazy, and it's like, what did you do? Like, I'm not trying to quote victim blame, end quote, but I do know that guys, some of them, they like to lie and try to gaslight that they weren't the problem until you date them, and it's like, you were definitely the problem, and I want to strangle you with a fish wire hook or something. I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say. You know, like one of the linings of the fishing rod. That's what I was thinking. It's like, oh man, can I strangle you with that with some gloves? It's like, you put me there, and I wasn't like that. You destroyed my peace when I got with you. And you got to go find peace within your own self, sir. Anyways, listen, let me finish this. So you have surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. I mean, with this loving energy, like, this, when I talked about like your with the tarot, you're just really in your peace. Everything is good. There might be a fear that if someone were to come in and match your freak or your frequency, you're like, oh no, like, there's like, God, I hope you're not going to destroy it. I don't blame you. I've been single for 3 years. And it's just like, I'm not going to cap. The only reason why I would want to be in a relationship because of my hormones. But it's like, once you have that clarity, it's like, nah, I'm okay. I don't want to deal with you. And so it's like, I don't want a relationship. And that's probably where you're at. But if someone do come in, you know, pay attention to your body and see how it reacts. So that's like my hint for you, group number 3. But the card you selected is generosity. And it says to give try again. Generosity. To give liberally to others without expecting anything in return. And so we're going to read the back of it. Practice saying, I have all I need to be safe and at peace and to experience happiness and joy. Recognize that it's recognize that it's our default to be generous, but we often override this natural inclination with questions and doubts. Know all the things you have to give, even when it seems like you have nothing. Choose to do one kind or helpful thing for someone every day, including yourself. It can be as simple as noticing and saying something positive. Notice how you feel inside when you do this. Notice when you feel yourself tipping into a sense of scarcity that makes you want to hoard. Consider how you might practice taking small steps to turn toward a sense of abundance. Whatever that means to you, take what resonates with this card. But it's definitely saying that, yeah, we can give, but try not to over give, and make sure to give to yourself is like an additional message that I picked up from this card. Remember, there is a huge difference between being kind and being too nice. And people say that folks take kindness for weakness. And it's like, yeah, if that person is over giving, aka being too nice. Make sure that you are giving for yourself. Give yourself permission to live, to do what it is that you want to do, what your heart's desire. I think that's it. That's all. Spirit is like, shut up, channeling. All right, group number 3, that is your reading. If this resonated, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for being patient with me. And I shall see you in another pick a card video. Best wishes, my darling. Talk to you later. Peace.